to the fight. Those young men in the back there, it's about those young men. That's what it's all about. That's why you're here. That's why you come to watch them. It's about the players. Offensive line and the defensive line, you're the foundation. They are working their butts off. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're in better shape. There's some men up here. I want all the skill players. The exciting thing about these young men is we've got a lot of really good athletes. All right, our quarterbacks. Steven's another guy that every night when everybody goes home, he's on the bike. We got excellent quarterbacks. Linebackers are the cement of the defense. They call out what's going on. They recognize it before it happens. They make plays, because if they don't, it's bad news for us. These young men are made for this. These young men are made for this.
Great comments from head coach Mike McIntyre as we get a brand new season of Colorado football underway. Hi, everybody. I'm voice of the bus, Mark Johnson. Welcome to a brand new season of the Buffalo Stampede television show. Head coach Gary Barnett joining us. He'll be with us in the broadcast, of course, for year number 3 all season long. It's always exciting this time of year when you get a new season. I mean, everyone's undefeated. Everyone's all conference. It's a great time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, and Mark, we're 1 week away.
Yep.
I mean, we did this 2 weeks ahead last time, if you remember.
That's
last
right,
year.
we did.
We're 1 week ahead, literally, and so it's just been building and building nationally as well as locally, and you know, everybody is really interested to see what this team is about because it's so young and it's so new. There's a lot of people that are here for the first time. Some of them are older because they're junior college guys, but you know, I think everybody's waiting just to see this team get unveiled.
You know, you and I have talked about this quite a bit. We've all been at practice over the last 3 weeks. When you watch this team, 2 years ago, it was a team that kind of, as you said, led itself. Last year, they were searching. This seems to be an energetic, a team kind of asking to be led almost, don't you think?
Well, that's the way I've seen it. The 2016 team, as you said, that was a team that all you had to do was tell them what time the bus left.
Right.
Last year, they're not sure if they wanted to get on the bus. And this year, these guys are they're just wide-eyed young puppies. And they're excited to be playing college football and to be coached and to practice. And I've been out to probably half the practices, and I haven't seen a bad practice. I haven't seen one that wasn't really full of energy. And that's, from my standpoint, watching it from a coach's perspective, that's exciting for you as a coach.
I was going to say, I'd have to think that would be a team that's fun to coach and to lead into a season.
Well, that's what I always felt,
yeah.
that when you had a team like that, you had a much better chance than one like you had last year.
Yeah, you look at this team a little bit like Gary's talking about. A couple of years ago, it was obvious who the leaders were. They've got 7 captains as voted by the team, so it's really leadership by committee. Let's take a look at the 7 guys leading the Buffaloes into 2018.
Rifle downfield, open, Juwan Winfree, grabbing the 35, cuts to his right at the 20, end zone, touchdown, Juwan Winfree.
Being selected as captain meant a lot for me. You know, this is a big step for me. To be the best, you know, you got to be a leader. I just want to lead my team to greatness, lead my team to wins, and, you know, it's a huge step, and I'm ready to take this big challenge.
They're going to rush him. Second wave comes in, and they sack him for the 2nd play in a row. Rick Gamboa.
To me, it's a big deal, you know, especially the way we do it, you know, having the team vote for you, and just seeing it from everybody on the team choosing me to, you know, be one of the guys on the team to lead them really means a lot to me, and it's definitely a lot of responsibility.
He throws it to the back of the end zone, and Nick Fisher's here to intercept the ball. Up the sideline, and he may go all the way. Touchdown by Nick Fisher.
For them to recognize you as a leader, that's a big thing to me. It just makes it more authentic, just truly captains picked by the players.
Huge. I think that's something that's like, you know, everyone's dream. Everyone wants to be, you know, a captain since we're a leader of just any kind. So when that happens, it's obviously a huge deal, but just excited to get the season rolling and, you know, to help lead these guys where we want to go.
Throws it out the right, flat grab is made. Cutting upfield, Kavion Ento, and it's off to the races, and he's going down the sideline. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Kavion Ento.
It was already a responsibility being a senior, being the older guy when you're supposed to lead. And now being a captain, now that you have that voice, you're supposed to go out and do the right thing, just be the right person for the team and do what you can to help win.
Looking for the end zone, fires, caught at the 5-yard line. Jay McIntyre, end zone, touchdown, touchdown, Colorado.
It feels great just to be representing the University of Colorado, and the team means the world to me. Everything that I put into this program in the last 4 years, it's really rewarding.
A rollout punt from Kenny, and a good one. Inside the 5, and it's down at the 1. 67-yard punt.
Yeah, it's been going great. It means a lot. I've always looked up to Philip Lindsay. So it's an awesome experience being nominated as captain. I'm looking forward to it.
Punter Alex Kinney, one of the captains. Been a long time since the Buffs have had a punter that's a captain. You don't see that a lot among special teams guys.
Only when you have good specialists does that happen. When someone who's been around for a long time and has started to prove themselves and taken some control of the locker room. And so, where we've been on special teams, really up until last year, it started to show its face as a real positive. This year, and you and I have talked about this, and we're going to see it, I think, this fall, is we're going to be as good as anybody from the special team, from the specialist standpoint, punter and place kicking. Yeah, you think of James Stefano, that is the kicker, and then J.T. Bale, the long snapper. You might have to go back to when Gary was coaching with Mason Crosby and John Torp to have a duo that was that good. Let's talk about quarterback a little bit. Steven Montez becomes a second-year starter now. I've talked about this. Kurt Roper brought in to kind of work with him and the rest of the quarterbacks. I get the sense Kurt's made a pretty good deal of improvement with him, or at least some movement, if you will. Well, I think we're going to see it. I think it was a really good move by Mike, Coach McIntyre, to do that. Put somebody in charge of the quarterbacks that wasn't concerned about play calling, wasn't concerned about necessarily game planning, although they're always involved. Everybody's involved with game planning. But I think it was a good move just to try to get Steven to the next level. Yeah, I think so. I think we're hoping he's maturing and becoming not just a guy that throws the football, but maybe thinks the game a little bit. It's always going to come down to the fellas up front. Offensive line, defensive line. As you've been out in practice, what have you seen there amongst those big fellas? I've seen a team that, Clayton Adams has been able to move a lot of different guys into different positions. It's a pretty young team still, but there seems to be a lot of depth. I don't know that we're going to know until the season comes as to how it separates itself out, which guys separate themselves out, and just how effective this group's going to be. But they've got a lot of energy. They're pretty youthful. They're big. They seem athletic from what I can tell. Yep. So it's one of those things that's a wait and see for me. Well, there's a lot of excitement here at the kickoff luncheon at Bolles Fieldhouse as we get 2018 underway. Buffs open up on a Friday night, Mile High Stadium against Colorado State. Coming up next is Stampede from CUBuffs.com. We'll be joined by Neil Welk. Play action. There it is.
Lobs it over the top. Wide open. Juwann Winfree, the 50. And it's a foot race. 35-30, 25-20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown, Colorado.
Well, we hope to see that hook up frequently this season as the 2018 college football season is about ready to get underway for the Colorado Buffaloes. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Stampede. Neil Welk, CUBuffs.com. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Well, we know that Juwann Winfree is a talented wide receiver, like a lot of those guys in that receiving core. And Steven's got a lot to choose from this season as we get this season underway.
That's a deep, deep receiving core. And I tell you what, Juwann Winfree, when the lights go on, I like what he's capable of doing. I like what, like you said, a lot of those receivers are capable of doing. That may be as deep a receiving core as they've had around here in a long time.
Neil, what's your take? Now the camp's wrapped up, and we're just a couple of days away from the season getting underway with the Rocky Mountain Showdown down in Denver. What was your takeaway from camp?
Two things. Number one, they've got a lot of depth. I think they developed a lot of depth just about at every position. It was a very competitive camp. And number two, I really like the chemistry of this team. I like the way, there weren't a lot of fights and things like that in camp. And I tell you what, there was a lot of enthusiasm. They were engaged every day. They did not have a bad day of practice.
Yeah, I'll say that too. Neil and I were out there every single day. And we don't recall a day when Mike McIntyre, one of the coordinators, walked off and said something about, well, we weren't that great today. It really was a solid camp, I think, for the Colorado Buffaloes. So this matchup with CSU on Friday night, big game to start the season. As we well know, this team's got a little bit to prove. You kind of got a sense they're walking into this contest with a chip on their shoulder.
And that's exactly the term that Mike and DJ Elliott and Darren Cheverini, Clayton Adams, all the coordinators have used at one point or another in the camp. This team has a little bit of chip on their shoulder. A 5-7 finish last year. They thought they should have won some more games, obviously, and I think they come into this camp knowing that they've got to do all the little things that prevented them from winning those games a year ago, and so I think they've got a lot to prove on Friday night.
What's the biggest area of this team I think fans will be surprised by?
I think offensive and defensive line, and I kind of flip a coin there because those were the two biggest questions coming into camp. Could they develop that line on both sides of the ball? And I think both sides are going to be pretty good.
I think so as well. One of the great focuses for the CU Athletic Department of Rick George is mental health. And former Buff skier Julie Furtado, as the students had come back and the athletes had been back on campus, talked, in fact, to the student athletes just before the season got underway.
It is truly an honor to be here. It's so good to be back. CU provided me a lifeline many, many years ago, and for me it was a portal to a different world, and so I'm hoping it can be the same for you. Before I was born, my mother tried to commit suicide at least 2 times. And then after we were born, she tried again, an incredibly mentally unhealthy woman. And as an added bonus, she said it was because of us children. And I took it upon myself to do everything I could to keep this woman alive, because it was my fault. Well, I've always wanted to do something with CU. Like, I've always wanted to return in some kind of manner. I wanted to speak to those kids out there that might be struggling, because I know there's some in here. And I felt that my story could touch so many different levels. And so here I came and I found another home. I was still unbelievably damaged inside, and I didn't seek any kind of help. So after 2 years, my knees just were shot, and I knew I couldn't ski race anymore. It's just so tough kissing goodbye 20 years of my life. I know I found a new sport. I had already started cycling, but it's not even close to being the same. So fresh and naive. Okay, I'm 20 writing this. People struggle for all sorts of reasons, and a lot of people, only maybe 20% I guess they're discovering, have like a diagnosed mental illness. It can be treatable with medicine and things like that. Otherwise, life can be hard. And so like for me, I didn't know how to be an adult. I have no coping skills, way to monitor my emotions, and that caught up to me. But people think that there is a solution to this, one solution, and there's not. I just want a more multifaceted approach to it. And when Rick gave me the tour of everything he's built here, he really wants to address the entire person, not just the sport. Everything he's doing is going to help.
Great words there by Julie Furtado. Neil, I know you did a story on CUBus.com about her.
Yeah, Julie is, you know, she was a great skier here, All-American, went on 3-time World Cup champion in mountain biking, and has had some really tough times in her life with family history, and came in and had some great words to talk to the student athletes about, and I think it's something that they can really take to heart. She's been in their shoes. She's been a world-class athlete, been in the spotlight, knows what kind of stress and pressure these kids are under, and so I think they took that message to heart.
Well, talking to the kids about mental health, and once again, Rick George has made that a priority of the athletic department to focus upon mental health and how we can help some of the student athletes. We've lost a couple of former Buffs, of course, and it's way too many. All right, let's talk about the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Rams go and get beat badly early on in the ball game at home to open up the season last week against Hawaii. Came back, made a nice run of it, ended up falling 43-34 to the Rainbow Warriors. I don't think that should give false hope to any Buffs fans out there, because I still think this Rams team is pretty talented.
I think there's a lot of talent on that team. You know, they've got some big wide receivers. Their quarterback can throw when he has time. He has a little bit of a slow delivery, but he can wind up and sling it. So I think this is a team that, you know, they've got nothing to lose all of a sudden. CSU comes in this game with nothing to lose. Colorado should win this game, though.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Of course, after that, the Buffs are in Lincoln to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But first things first, it's the Rocky Mountain Showdown on Friday night, Colorado and Colorado State. By the way, our radio broadcast in Colorado Football Network is underway at 5:30, kickoff at 7:30 on Friday down in the Mile High City. Coming up next in the Stampede, we're going to talk volleyball. Jesse Mahoney's team off to a 2-1 start. That comes your way next.
Just getting to hang out here at the training center is really important, because, you know, we have no distractions. We get to train at like top level facilities. I mean, if you take a look around, it's amazing. And we just get to bond and just hang out with each other and focus on what really matters. I'm sure they were overwhelmed at first, because I definitely was my first time here. But again, it is a huge privilege to be here. So I'm sure they feel that honor as well.
Now, the Buffs volleyball team held their preseason camp down in the Springs, back in the Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Jesse Mahoney, head coach of the women's volleyball team here at CU. I guess had a nice trip down there. What's the value of going down to the Springs, training before you get your season underway?
That's always a great experience for us. We get an opportunity to kind of get away from all of the distractions. We're on kind of one campus. We have 3 sessions a day, film on the court. And on top of that, it's a great facility, and we get to mingle with some Olympians, which is always fun as well. So coming out of camp then, how would you kind of grade your team getting ready for the season? That's tough to say. Maybe B+. I think we have a lot of veterans, and then we have some talented youngsters that we have to kind of bring in to into the mix a little bit, and you know, I like where we are now, but we're going to have to continue to improve.
You know, we talk about chemistry in all sports. How about in volleyball? When you're in a situation like that, does that kind of help chemistry a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, training camp every year that's what it's all about. It's about getting us together, getting us on the same page. The more time we can spend together on and off the courts, the better we're going to be throughout the season.
How do you handle expectations with where this team was? Preseason number 15 in the country. How do you address the team about that, or is it more about we just need to get better and ignore all of that stuff?
Yeah. It's a boring answer because we don't talk about it very often. You know, we talk about day to day, and we talk about getting better every day. And we don't talk about last year. We don't talk about what we're going to do this year. We talk about our next match and our next practice. So, like I said, it's boring, but it's true.
Speaking of team bonding, let's go ahead and look back at the photo shoot where the Buffs put together their season promotional posters.
We are doing our season photo shoot. We're all taking pictures by class. It's super fun. We really enjoy being around each other, and it's kind of like our first week back in Boulder. Getting to hang out together during this time is very important for us too. In this, we have 2 stations. In the first station, we're just taking pictures. Like some of them are fun, some of them are serious. And then we have a second station, which is more of like the green room. And there we do like silly pictures and like questions and videos and kind of getting to know the team and stuff like that. Our team is really close. Some of us even live together. We eat together. We work out together. We're always together like 24/7. We have fun together. It's awesome. We love each other. Our team is very serious when it comes to playing and winning. We take that very seriously. But at the same time, we have a lot of personality. So we know we want our fans to be able to see that and know that we're also a lot of fun. So we are serious when it comes to winning, but we do like to have fun also. I think we spent a really good spring season pretty much breaking it down and really working on the basics. And so I'm really excited to see us put it into play, into a bigger picture this fall. And I really think that the Buffs are going to be something to reckon with in the Pac-12. So stay tuned.
That looked like a fun little event when you guys were taking the photos for the posters.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kids have some personality.
they do, a little bit on this team. Well, the season's finally underway. In fact, the Buffs went up last weekend to Laramie, Wyoming, and were involved in the Wyoming tournament up there. Let's see, you came out, you beat Oral Roberts 3-1, swept North Florida, and then got beaten 5 by Wyoming. How do you come out of that event?
You know, I think we got better as the event progressed. You know, we started off really well against Oral Roberts and had a little bit of a hiccup and came back and won that match. Played a little tight against North Florida, still able to separate in that match. And then, you know, we go down 0-2 against Wyoming, who's a very good, very experienced team on their home floor. And even though we lost, I was excited about the fight that we showed. I thought we got better as that match progressed and really, you know, controlled sets 3 and sets 4 and had our chances in set 5 and couldn't quite get it done. But you know, hopefully a little bit of a wake-up call for our team. Practice yesterday was really good, and we're going to have to be better because the competition keeps getting better.
Truth be told, that's not an easy place to go play up there in Wyoming.
Yeah, I mean it's you know, it's not a bad loss. It's a very good team that's had a lot of success, and I think this is a peak year for them. Very well coached, and you know, we are still kind of growing and figuring things out. And there's a point where we have, you know, 3 freshmen on the floor out there playing in that 5th set. So, you know, we'll use it as something to keep progressing.
Buffaloes will not take out to Seattle in the Big Ten Pac-12 Challenge. They'll face Illinois and Iowa up in the Emerald City. Good luck in that event.
Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Jesse Mahoney. Good start to the season for the volleyball team. Coming up next, good start in soccer. Danny Sanchez is going to join us next here in the Stampede.
Colorado 6, Missouri 0. 6 goals, half of those came from one player for the Buffaloes. And Tatum Barton, I'm going to make you look over toward me real quick. Okay. And you can let everybody know what happened. Or show them that.
Oh, yeah.
Hat trick today.
Hat trick, yes.
Tatum breaks out the hat on Missouri. 3 goals. 2 of those in the first, 5 minutes of play. Walk us through your day-to-day, Tatum. What happened out there?
I don't know. Like, I just knew coming into today we needed an early goal, and that was one of my goals going into the game. So it really set the tone for, I think, the season and the rest of the game.
Last week, it was a scoreless tie with Colorado State. We're looking right now at footage of your goals, and the smile on your face, among other things, says a lot.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest, I've got a lot of baseball background, and you don't talk about a no-hitter when somebody's throwing a no-hitter. When you get 2 goals, does anybody talk? Do people talk about a hat trick in soccer?
Not normally in college. Oh my God.
There you go. Now you're all cleaned up.
All cleaned up.
Well, that's what you get when you have a hat trick in a soccer game. You get doused with water. Tatum Barton had quite a day in that 6-0 victory over Missouri. Back at the Stampede, Danny Sanchez, soccer coach for the CU women's team. That was kind of a fun day, wasn't it?
I think she had fun.
I think she did, yeah.
I don't think a little bit of water. I think in a nice hot afternoon after scoring 3 goals. Back in the day, you score 3 goals, you can dump anything you want on me. We're talking Gatorade, it don't matter. You know, chicken wings, whatever. It don't matter.
That was quite a game, though. I mean, you get that old Big 12 rival in Missouri coming in here, Prenta Field, and you want to talk about scoring early and often. If people don't think soccer is a scoring game, that one certainly dispelled those rumors.
Well, fortunately, we had the lightning delay, so the people that normally show up late were actually on time. Yeah, because we had 3 goals in the first 6.5 minutes, which is like the second fastest in CU history. So. Yeah, it had been, you know, we were disappointed after the CU match, not getting a result, and the team really responded. And you'd like for them to respond like that all the time, but they really came out with a lot of energy, first 3 shots, goals, and kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. But we also finished out the game, which was important. We talked a lot about that at halftime.
You know, Tatum Barton, we'll borrow that old cliche. Does she have a nose for the net, if you will?
Well, she did on Saturday, but yeah, no, she's. I mean, she had 6 goals last year. She scored against Air Force in the first game, and to get 3 goals, it's a great start to the season. But we're 3 games in, so a lot of work to be done.
Right, yeah. Don't put the cart ahead of the horse here. Taylor Korniak, by the way, had 4 assists, setting a school record that game.
A school record, and we all know the quality of Taylor. Taylor had 4 assists last season. Wow. And we talked a lot about this year. She has more options going forward, so she's going to be more of a playmaker. She's still going to score her share of goals, but you could see her quality on the end of set pieces. The second goal to Tatum was my favorite one, the no-look pass, the Tatum who tucks it away. It was a good day for all the Buffs.
Yeah, it certainly was. A nice victory for the Buffs, too. And I've got 2 victories and a tie so far in the season. You know, one thing that you've done this year a little bit around the Colorado Cup is get involved with Special Olympics. Honestly, that's kind of fun for the team.
Yeah, I mean, every year, the Saturday before the Sunday games when all 6 teams come to Prenup, you know, we go to a park. This year we went out to Broomfield Commons, which I appreciate because that's right by my house in Broomfield. But it was a great day. All 6 schools come out. It's all about the kids and the adults. There's a lot of adults. Tim and Jeff, some of our regulars, have been 5-6 years in a row they've been to this, and we see them at the games, and it's a great experience for the players. It's a great experience for the coaches. It's really one of the most favorite days of the year for the team. They get there, and even the ones that are kind of like, oh, when they get there, they're like, can we stay longer? It's a great day.
Well, we're talking football, and ahead of football, of course, with the Rocky Mountain Showdown. In fact, ahead of the game on Friday with the Buffs and the Rams at Mile High Stadium, we got together in the IPF with Special Olympians for another Rocky Mountain Showdown midweek.
Tonight's our 3rd annual CSU versus CU unified rivalry game. And what that means is, obviously, we have a big rivalry between CU and CSU, and we decided to bring our Special Olympic athletes and students from each of the schools together, play a little flag football, just support that rivalry, but also show a little bit of friendship and a little sportsmanship between both schools. Just seeing the CU logo, seeing the logo on the field, and being in the same place where some of their idols who they see play every Saturday come out here and have the opportunity to compete on that same field is awesome. And they look forward to this every single year, not only just playing, but then playing with some of the students who are on campus. They get a chance to meet them. They get a chance to continue those friendships throughout the community. Even when they leave here, they do things together. So it's an awesome opportunity, and they look forward to it every year. This is an opportunity for us to let them know that, you know, our athletes have a stake in the community, our athletes involved in the community, and CU and CSU opening their doors to continue that, to foster that inclusion goes a long way in the lives of our athletes, but also to the student athletes who are out there volunteering, to the students who are playing on both teams. It gives them that opportunity to give back also.
That was a lot of fun. The flag football game with the Special Olympians ahead of the Rocky Mountain Showdown on Friday. By the way, there is soccer on Friday as well before the football game at Mile High Stadium. You've got UTSA, the Roadrunners, coming to town.
Yeah, and I used to coach Metro State Roadrunners, so there you go. Yeah, I mean, we get it, it's 4 o'clock. You know, for our core fans, we'll be done by 5:45. No lightning delays. Plenty of time to get down to Denver to watch the big Rocky Mountain Showdown. So we're pumped for that. And then on Sunday, we got Iowa State coming in, a very good team that'll really test us. We know their coach really well. He's a Fort Collins native, so we're super pumped for this weekend. 2 more home games, and we hope that let's make it a full CU weekend of soccer, football and football.
I like it. Well, what do you want to see your team get better at now that you're 2-0-1 on this?
Well, I think the consistency. You know, we had a great game against Air Force. We're down against CSU. We had a very good game against Mizzou. I think we have to find a rhythm. Training, we just got more training. This is one of our best training sessions of the day. And coaches that's coach speak. It's not coach speak. We need to be consistent and ready to roll, so we're excited for the weekend.
I like it. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, Danny Sanchez, head women's soccer coach here at the University of Colorado. They've gotten off to a good start. And again, at full day on Friday, the Roadrunners in town to take on this football, and then it's the Rocky Mountain Showdown between the Buffs and the Rams at Mile High Stadium. Again, our radio broadcast gets underway at 5:30, kickoff at 7:30 in the Colorado Football Network. As we wrap up another Buffalo Stampede, we'll talk to you next time.